Hi everybody. I thought I'd come out here again and try for the fourth time today to do a garden tour. Every time I come out here it starts raining. We've had I don't know, we've had a lot of rain. I think it's rained every day but one out of the last 2 weeks. Um, we got another inch last night. It's been raining off and on all day, and as you can see, it's still pretty dark here. I think it's supposed to continue to rain over the next hour or two, and then I think it's finally supposed to be nice tomorrow. And by nice, I mean about 85. It's going to be fairly warm, but there will be no rain, so that's fine. Today is 75. It's so comfortable out here, but can't do much because of the rain. So uh, here we go. Back up so you can see how tall these plants have. I think these plants have gained, I'd say, about 6 inches. Those two for sure. About 6 inches over the last week since my last tour. That's KBX, Black Beauty, Hazel May, Moonlight Mile, Anna's Nor, aka Black Pineapple. Unfortunately, this plant, it's had 6 tomatoes on it, and I've had to pull off 5 of them for blossom end rot. I believe it's 1 because it's in a container, and 2 because we've had so much rain. Because I was advised long ago to add bone meal, pull the mulch back, add bone meal around the stalk every 2 weeks for basically about 3 months. And normally it keeps the blossom end rot at bay, but when we've had somewhere around 18 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks, I think it was kind of inevitable. All the bone meal's probably washed out at this point. So a couple days ago, what I did was I came out here, I went and got some powdered milk. To each plant, I added a quarter cup of powdered milk to a cup of water. Pulled the mulch back, put a big circle of the powdered milk water around all the stalks. That was on Sunday I did that. And then so today, I actually should have been fertilizing on Sunday, but that was very important if I want any tomatoes. So I went ahead and did the powdered milk. And then this morning I came out here and I fertilized. I use AgroThrive Fruit and Flower. It's a 335. I highly recommend it. My plants have never looked this pretty and full, and there's so many flowers on them. Hard to see kind of from where I'm at, but absolutely loaded with flowers. The top has more flowers. Every new sprout is covered in flowers. Especially with these heirloom tomatoes, because they sorry, that was my neighbor going by. I was waving at. These are heirlooms, so they don't generally put off a lot of tomatoes anyway, especially the ones that give you slicers. At least not down here in the south. It's so hot and humid, it's really hard to grow heirlooms. In fact, I was told when I started this back in 2019 that I would never be able to grow heirloom tomatoes here. And so far, I've managed to grow them every year. I may not get that many on certain varieties, but I've managed to get tomatoes off of all but I think 2 plants, and that was last summer. And that actually had nothing to do with our humidity. We hit 100 degrees in May of last year, and we just never left there until late September. It was horrible. But more importantly, we had almost 0 rain. So my poor tomatoes were just struggling to stay alive. They certainly were not interested in procreating. So, but AgroThrive fertilizer this morning, 2 tablespoons of AgroThrive to my container's about 1.5 gallons. We have a hummingbird visitor too. I love my hummingbirds. That is a male, adult male. So 2 tablespoons to 1.5 gallons. That I gave to these 7 plants here. So there are 2 right there. Then there are 5. Need to zoom back out. 5 right here. Um, and then, on to my peppers and other stuff. Same thing. 2 tablespoons to, gallon. I try not to overdo it. I might do a little bit less than what it says, but I certainly don't want to give it too much. But yeah. To me, these tomatoes have doubled in size just in the last couple days. They're fairly large. Some of these. That one has definitely, I'd say it's twice the size it was last time I paid any attention. Now these couple plants here, this KBX and this Hazel May, they're known for not giving you a lot of tomatoes, but they're usually fairly large. So if I get only those 2, I'm happy. Now, Black Beauty plant. This one, I also tried to grow it last year, and this is the one the possum got. And I managed one little small tomato on it that ended up with blossom end rot. So we didn't get any. However, this year, this, of course, it's all to the back of the plant, but it's got a good bit of tomatoes on there. And none of these, thankfully, have any blossom end rot. This Moonlight Mile, I think I told you I believe this will be my first ripe one. Now that's not counting the micro dwarfs and the dwarfs, but I think this will be my first ripe tomatoes. And what I didn't see earlier is that we've already got some new growth at the top. And if I'm very lucky, these also will not have blossom end rot. I'm super concerned about that now. Like I said, it's always a problem because I use containers or grow bags. Now this year is the first year that I've used actual grow bags. These are all 20-gallon. And it's definitely enough room to grow the kind of tomatoes I want to grow. But it still doesn't keep the blossom end rot at bay. Because unfortunately here in the deep south, we get a lot of rain. We're just 100 miles from the Gulf. Excessive humidity, we get a lot of rain in kind of April and May, and maybe a little bit in June, and then by the middle of June, it just turns very hot. There's no air, there's no rain. It's just miserable. You walk out the door and start sweating. That's what it's like here. So it's very hard to grow these heirloom tomatoes down here in the deep south. Now you can put them in a high tunnel or greenhouse. They would probably grow exceptionally well. But even the people that I know that have either one of those stick to determinate plants, because it's just, you can lose your entire crop here. But I want to grow heirloom, so that's what we're growing. I do have one tomato here on this Anna's Noor that did not have blossom end rot, and I saw this morning, and none of these so far have blossom end rot. Super excited, gonna hold my breath. At least there's some more flowers up here. So that's it on the tomatoes. Powdered milk, if you have a problem with blossom end rot. Bone meal, I will continue to put bone meal in there too, but in the immediate, I use the powdered milk. I've also heard about using Tums. I've never used Tums, but I will do it if I have to. Okay, so over here, Black Beauty eggplant, still looks the same. I'm probably should be doing something that I don't realize I should be doing to help that one grow more. Streets of Broken Lanterns. This is the one I told you I thought this was a cherry. I also thought it was a bush. Clearly it's neither. This is going to have some pretty cool looking tomatoes, but I can already tell this one already has some blossom end rot on it, this tiny one. So I'd be surprised if these two also don't have. These two will probably also have blossom end rot, but I also treated this one with the powdered milk. In fact, this was very tiny when I did this Sunday, so, but I can already see hints of the blossom end rot on that one, but I'm gonna leave it. Thankfully, there's some more flowers up here, and hopefully these won't fall off. That's another problem I've had all of a sudden. It's my own fault. So because of all the rain we've had, I have come out here every morning, and I'm constantly, shaking the flowers, trying to make the pollen drop and hit the stigma. Problem is, I do this in the morning, and more than likely, these flowers and the pollen have been too wet to actually move. When I should have been out here with some sort of brush, any type of brush, paintbrush, toothbrush, physically putting it on every single flower. And for that, we've had some dry up and fall off. And it's honestly, I think it's just because of the rain. So Streets of Broken Lanterns. I'm really excited about this plant, especially now knowing that it's going to get quite tall and that it's not little tiny tomatoes. Because again, this is one I couldn't find much information about. I think I told you I only found it on 3 websites. 2 were sold out, and 2 of the 3 were printed in Russian, which obviously I don't read or speak, so I will do whatever it takes to make sure this plant makes it to give me at least 1 tomato. This so far is my favorite plant, this ground cherry. I just can't say enough about it. I come out here every day and I weed through here until I find myself a ripe ground cherry. Is that one? Well, it must be. It fell off. I think everyone should have this in their garden. Just as a treat to yourself, if no other reason. Especially if you like green plums. Oh, this is so good. Oh, look at that one. Highly, highly recommend this. It's like a little surprise in a husk. That's a decent, that might be the biggest one I've had yet. Oh, that one was really sweet. Ground cherry. To my knowledge, there's only 2. There could be a whole lot more. The only 2 I've heard of are pineapple ground cherry. If that's not even a generic name, it could be. And Aunt Molly's. I believe these are Aunt Molly's. Delicious. There's a tomato on there ripening up. I got a ripe tomato off this earlier. Very yellow, very small. That's the Orange Hat Micro Dwarf. I thought I was filming it at the time, and I never actually hit play or record, so, but that plant looks fantastic. Calico pepper. I will grow this one probably every year from now on, just because it's beautiful. These variegated leaves with the purple flowers and then the purple peppers. I don't know, I may try one just for the heck of it, but I know they're supposed to be pretty hot. I like a mild spice, but not really hot. Same with this black pearl, just thought it was just beautiful. You can see some of these are yellow, some of these are green. I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's all loaded with peppers. And I'm just still in awe of these fish peppers. I truly never knew these were going to turn purple. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Must be maybe the part that's facing the sun, I guess, because you can see how green that is on the back side. So maybe it's just since these are, in pure sun, all the anthocyanins are coming out. Strawberry. Um, so I've still been fertilizing this. I fertilized this morning too. I wasn't sure if I should. I know it's about to get too warm for most of this stuff, but especially for strawberries. As you can see, I have a few on there. If they, I believe they'll make it, in time to ripen up, which is surprising to me. Again, I didn't think I'd get any this year. I thought they would just establish themselves, and that there's at least one more flower on there. That's a good sign. There's another one. If these just get ripened up, oh wow! Hey, we got an actual strawberry. Kind of wonky looking, a little small, but that's all right. Pull this other green leaf off. Yeah, I didn't know that was there. How cool. All right, so because I know how these birds are here, I'm going to tuck that back into the cup. Hopefully it'll stay hidden. I may have to come out. Well, I probably will. When I made this, I bought so, I got all of this from, if you've watched my very first video, I got these trays from Dollar Tree. I drilled the holes in them. Got a piece of rebar from Lowe's, drove it in the ground, 8 inches or so. Took a piece of PVC pipe, that's about 6 inches, spray painted it gray so it would fit flush to the bottom of here. And the rebar obviously keeps this all up straight, but more importantly, the PVC pipe keeps this off the ground because I know the ants would destroy these strawberries. But I also bought it's a laundry bag. So, it's got little holes all in it. And you just stick it down over the rebar. It keeps all this covered up, but with all the holes, it allows it to get both sunlight and rain. I will probably do that very soon, just to ensure that I get any strawberries. Super exciting. I truly had no idea I had a strawberry on there that size. All right. That's something to look forward to. This is the one plant that I created with a runner, and it's still doing great. Actually, this one, you can see this one's finally starting to come back. I don't know why this one turned to look so bad, yet this little piece of it's still really green. But that's a good sign that this didn't show up. I thought maybe I took it out of the other pot too soon. Maybe the roots weren't long enough. More than likely, it could be the rain. And it could be that it's just not getting enough sun. I try to turn this every day. That's another good thing about it being on the rebar. I can turn it with ease, just like those garden towers. I usually turn this in the evening, and then I turn it back facing that way for the morning sun. And since there's been no sun today, I'm just kind of leaving it like it is. All right, let's go check out my Abe tomatoes. Clearly still growing. I know the poor plant just looks terrible. I truly don't know. Now this right here, that's new growth. Happy to see that. Although I'm very concerned about this, but my tomatoes are still growing. So that's good news. The monkey tomato plant next to it is growing wild. Still no tomatoes. It has them. They're just not growing. Not sure. Truly don't know what's going on there. All right, gonna try my best not to flatten out any of this clover. These tomatoes actually kind of look better from the back. Oh, there's a new one. Much more flowers right in there that I can't see from the front either. Those right there on the bottom, those were the very first tomatoes. So I think those will actually be ready, I'd say in a week. Sweet peas, if they survive. I'll be surprised because it's about to get very, very hot here. In fact, today it's abnormally cool because of the rain. I think I told you it was 75. I think it actually got up to about 80, but it's about 70 right now. You can tell it didn't rain a whole lot here today, just kind of, well, it rained every time I came out here trying to make a video, but it didn't rain for long. But the air has really cooled just in the last hour. So I know we've had a lot of rain somewhere because it's very comfortable out here. Anyway, zinnias. I think I might be going to have a flower soon. I sure hope so. I put these in here for the bees, but and possibly the hummingbirds, but I just want to see how pretty they are. I'm new to growing flowers from seed, have no idea what I'm doing. I'll make a lot of mistakes before I get anything right, if I ever get it right. But those are zinnias. I left a couple in the pot, and then I just went ahead and planted a few in the ground just to see what they do. Obviously, the potting mix is winning over the clay soil. All of my basil. It smells so good out here. It's so breezy because of the rain, I guess. And it smells so good. That is Aji Colorado. I can't wait to see what this Aji Cherapita does. I think I read that it takes longer than any other pepper to grow, quite a while, 100 and some odd days, because of I think it's a Peruvian pepper, and most people, at least here in the U.S., don't have a long enough growing season for this, so it's hard to grow. And I don't know that we have a long enough growing season. We have about 230 days, and I'm hoping that's enough. It's got a lot of little blooms on it, so I'm excited to see what happens. I also came out here today and found my first purple cayenne pepper. Beautiful, beautiful. As y'all can tell, I like purple. Another purple cayenne, sugar rush peach, king of the north, and sweet chocolate. First king of the north pepper. Excited to see that. These cucumbers have just exploded in the last day or two. They're beautifully green. I think I told y'all my friend didn't know what kind of cucumber they were. She called the girl. I don't know if the girl told her, but she said that they are big cucumbers, but if you harvest them small, you can make pickles, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll let that grow another 2 days at the most. And then my munchers that I grew for pickling, they're not looking too good. Probably to do with those 90-degree days we had last week. Definitely some cukes on there. I'll get enough to make a harvest of pickles, or a couple of batches of pickles, and then I'll have to leave these alone until what I'll do is I'll plant some more in the house under grow light, probably mid-June or beginning of July, and then I'll transplant them out here in the middle of August. And that's what I did last year. Since we have enough time, I usually plant 2 rounds of cucumbers for sure. And I'm definitely going to plant a second round of green beans this year for sure. And I also came out here today and found my first watermelon. There was exactly one other flower on here, so I took it off and got a brush. And hopefully I made sure this got pollinated. We'll see. If it worked, that will be my first one. So I'm hoping when I come out here tomorrow, this will have doubled in size. If it worked. The flower's closed up, so we'll definitely find out tomorrow. I'm always excited for mammoth sunflowers. I just think they're beautiful. that watermelon, it still hasn't produced any little babies yet. It's got a lot of flowers on it, but nothing else. Green beans are doing very... Oh, I didn't even see that one. One right there. That'll probably be ready come tomorrow. But these dragon tongue, they've put on a lot of new flowers, which is good. I harvested everything off of those plants, but these plants in the front here, they're younger. I planted these probably a week or two after, so these are the first blooms on these younger dragon tongue plants. And then look down in there, there's a good bit of green lanes right there. They're just not... A couple more days, they'll be ready. This must be Kentucky pole bean. And my cat is under my feet, in case y'all hear something. Still loving these Queen Sophia marigolds. I love that they're staying bloomed for so long. Now that I pulled carrots out, that'll give this pepper a lot of room to grow. So in the fall, when I plant a second round of these green beans, I'm going to fill this bed with them next time, so I can put a whole bunch in the freezer. Okay, my mammoth sunflowers. One is finally sprouted right there. This is the first hole. There's only one there, there's only one there, and there are two there. However, starting there, going all the way up, all three sunflowers sprouted that I planted. The difference in these four right here, this was an old seed pack from last year. From there up is a new seed pack that I bought this year. Don't know if that has anything to do with it, but maybe it just depends on, what you're planting. I've got 2020 tomato seeds, or, tomatoes growing, so don't know if that's got anything to do with my sunflowers or not, but Morning Glory, still, they haven't done much. I planted some more, so I guess we'll see. Like I said, I'm new to growing flowers from seeds, so all this is new to me. More zinnias, they've gotten really tall. I really hope these will get flowers on them before the next couple of weeks when it gets really hot. And some more mammoth sunflowers. And I'm happy to say my cosmos have sprouted. So last year, planted them at the same time, but this time last year, we were already at 100 degrees, and we stayed there until end of September. So May, June, July, August, yeah. We had, 4.5 months of 97 to 102 or so with 110 heat index. And I know a lot of people think that that's not hot. It may not be hot in Arizona or California. It's hot, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not hot. It's our humidity here that makes it so unbearable. Nothing will produce, at least not here, in those couple of months. My tomato plants, I usually have to water once a day, maybe twice a day, and I have to cover them in shade cloth just to keep them alive for those months. They certainly do not produce any flowers, much less tomatoes. But these cosmos last year, so my cosmo plants grew to 10 and 12 feet tall. If I could figure out how to insert a picture right here, I will do it to show you my 12-foot tall cosmos from last year. But my point in telling you that was that these produced not a single flower until about the middle of September, maybe the end of September, when it finally started to come down from 100. And Like I said, my plants were already at least 8 feet tall, and they just kept going. They got to, some of the plants got to about 12 feet. But yeah, it was very late in the year before they ever produced a flower. So to see these blooming already just makes me so very happy. And there's another one right there. So exciting. I planted these after I saw how tall they got last year, which obviously is not normal. I planted them hoping they wouldn't get any taller than actually what they are right now. What I thought was that I would plant the cosmos. They would stay about where they are, which is about 2 feet. And my hibiscus here would grow 3, 4, 5 feet. And these would be much taller. But the opposite happened. My cosmos went wild and grew very tall. And my poor hibiscus here, this plant was about a foot tall maybe. So to even see it at 2 feet right now is amazing. But I think the cosmos last year just drowned it out. Even though my cosmos get the morning sun from 7 to 12-ish, and then the hibiscus gets the afternoon sun, which obviously is worse. The hottest part of the day from 1 to 7 or 8, whatever time the sun goes down, comes summer is what I'm referring to. But still, the cosmos just, you wouldn't have known the hibiscus was here unless you come around the fence and saw it. So yeah, that didn't work out as I'd have planned, but that's all right. I was extremely shocked and thrilled to see how tall those cosmo plants got, because the seed packet said 2 to 3 feet. There was no mention of 8, 10, or 12 feet. Anyway, okay, and there's one very important thing I want to show y'all. In case you are needing ladybugs to your yard. I know a lot of people say they never have any ladybugs, and this right here is what will bring ladybugs to your yard. And that is these canna lilies. I don't think I've mentioned them on any video before. These canna lilies, a friend had them at her house. They wouldn't grow. She dug them all up, brought them over here. These are almost entirely in shade. They're literally planted in the base of a pecan tree. However, these right here in the front get a good bit of sun. The backside doesn't get as much, but these canna lilies will grow about right there. They get taller than where the bird feeder is. They have beautiful red flowers on them. The hummingbirds love them, the bees love them, the wasps love them. But more importantly than even the pollinators is that at any time, say over the next couple of weeks, I will walk out here and find bunches and bunches of ladybug babies in various states of age, and ladybugs themselves. There were a few on here. There's another one right there. Doesn't want to show up too well, but there we go. Focus. Anyway, in the next week or two, I will walk out here and just say the back of one of these will be absolutely covered in ladybugs. In every stage you can think of, and bunches of them will be fully grown. I don't know what the canna lily does for them. They absolutely love the canna lilies. They will have their babies all here. They will stay here for, I don't know, a month. Last summer I walked out here and, we only got these in, like, during the summer of 2021. Got one there. But when I walked out here one day last year, the back of one of these flowers, there were at least, I'd say just, of these leaves, there were 100 on one leaf. And now don't confuse these with calla lilies. This is canna lilies. So if you want something that will bring ladybugs to your yard, that will bring bunches. Can't tell you they'll stay a long time, but you will have plenty of ladybugs if you have canna lilies. I'm not even sure what a calla, C-A-L-L-A lily is, but they don't look anything like these. But again, that's canna, C-A-N-N-A, canna lily. The leaves, just the foliage is beautiful. These get, I'm gonna say 6.5 to 7 feet, about right there. We're about 7 feet. But the beautiful flowers, all your pollinators love them. And like I said, there's hummingbird babies. Lily. Sorry, you can tell my mind's on hummingbirds. There will be ladybug babies everywhere, and then shortly there will be ladybugs everywhere. They stay here. There will be more and more and more. Actually, it's quite surprising how many ladybugs I'll walk out here and find in a week or two. Very happy to see them. So, again, that might be something you may want to look into because I know a lot of people say that they never see any ladybugs. Canna lily. Get you some canna lilies, you'll have ladybugs. All right, y'all. I guess that's it for this week. Hopefully on my garden tour next week, I'll actually have some ripe tomatoes to show you. Fingers crossed. I'm excited. See y'all next time.